So let's say you've identified a whole bunch of mushroom samples and now you actually want to culture them. What do?
Well, there's 3 steps to actually culturing a mushroom. So step 1, you're going to need one of 2 things. Either one of these, which is a petri dish containing an agar gel, or one of these, which is a jar of growing medium. Now, the major advantage of a petri dish is that you can see on the right, it's really easy to identify if you're growing the mushrooms. If you have contaminations, it's easy to pull them off. Now, the nice thing about working with the petri dishes is that you can vary your options in terms of what it's growing on. So we can have something like this, which is just dry malt extract. We can have activated carbon, we can have spirulina powder, or we can switch to something completely different like potato starch and dextrose. But the big thing with the petri dish that we don't have with liquid media is that what we're trying to do here is create a lot of mycelium, a lot of roots for the mushrooms to take hold, and we don't get a lot of that with working with just a petri dish. Now, an alternative to the agar plates are liquid media, in this case dry malt extract dissolved in water, and a major advantage of this is when we create large amounts of mycelium or mushroom roots. The downside though is if we have any type of contamination, we're going to get a widespread growth. So when it comes to this, we typically see it in 3 stages. We see the media being added, we see the initial onset, and then we see the true growth of the mycelium within a week or so. Now, in reality, you're going to probably have to bounce back and forth between the 2. So use the petri dish to isolate the mushrooms roots that you want, use liquid media to create large amounts, or maybe you have to use 2 petri dishes, one to isolate the roots, the second one to make sure it's just the roots, not contamination. What we want to build to, though, is step 2. And step 2 is called the stage 2 medium. The stage 2 medium is typically vermiculite, which is used to hold moisture in place, with whatever we ultimately want to grow the mushroom on. So this can be grains, this can be coffee grains, this can be cardboard, it can be whatever we want as long as the mushroom's capable of processing. So if we take something like this, we squirt in the liquid medium, or we add the agar plates to it, we could end up with something that looks like this after 3 weeks. So what happens after 3 weeks is the mycelium, the roots begin to take over the grain. And you can see where they pulled away from the jar, they begin to eat a lot of it up. And what we want to do is get the grains completely saturated. Because once the grains are completely saturated with mushroom roots, we can go to stage 3. And stage 3 is either going to be a shotgun tub, which is this tub with a whole bunch of vermiculite in it, or an incubator. And once we're getting to stage 3, we're to the point that we can actually now start growing the mushrooms and making them bloom underneath controlled conditions. And that's the 3 steps to growing your own mushrooms.